Lynette.
Hello.
Thanks for your generosity in every way. Barry and Denise, Lewis Newark, Murphy Culkin, Scott Kingsbury, Anonymous, Jamie Queen, Kirsten. Like, amazing. You're making a huge difference, guys. You're making a huge, huge difference. It's amazing. I'm loving the comments here. Keep the feedback coming through. And don't forget to share this.
Love
Invite people to the stream.
Ian's comment, the last bit there.
Where is Ian? Let's have a look.
Do you know what's really amazing, Alex, is being on the recipient, being on the side of being in the comments. It feels so lovely to be part of something.
It's
Like
addictive, isn't it?
when people, yeah. So when
which I've never
Yeah.
experienced being over there, and I never should, quite frankly. I'm quite happy with being here because I would just cry all the time.
It was a bit like that.
I tried to have a little bit with Christine, to try and have my one-on-one conversation with her, so Alex could take a bit of a back step and.
Yeah. I didn't even give you a hug when I came in. That's just rude,
let's
isn't
have a
it?
hug first,
Come on,
because
get in there. Oh, it's so good to see you. You're doing so well. And you as well, lovely. I know. Good to see you.
Let's get it started, shall we?
Yeah.
Is
I'm
he
really
gonna
nervous about this actually today.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm very nervous.
Well, I'm really proud of you because I know with what you wanted to talk about today, it's really important. Like, it's really important that we have these conversations. Yeah, just you and your growth and like where you've come over the last year. Think about it, where you come from, where you were last time on the live.
Even the last 3 months.
You've grown a lot. Yeah.
Massive.
It
I was
feels
talking
good.
to my mentor this week, and he was like, I literally cannot almost recognise you, but it was just so.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I'm really nervous now.
No, just
Last year it was fine because so when I was
not.
working,
How do you feel about this interview? How
No.
do you feel about you?
Don't ask me questions like that. I'll end up crying.
No, you can. We've got tissues and everything.
It's a very,
fine.
Yeah,
it's very strange actually because having spent 6.5 years talking about everyone else's Duchenne, right? And this is going to be hard because I don't often put
Right.
myself there.
with
I've
you.
supported people through their Duchenne for 6.5 years. It's been incredible. It was a wonderful experience. But what it did do, 6 months into Samson's diagnosis, it made me really able to park our Duchenne very effectively. So it was never about our Duchenne, it was always about everyone else's. Even when, we've experienced a lot of really significant loss in the Duchenne community this year. Some very, very powerful men have passed away in the Duchenne community. And you get hardened to it, but then you don't. And it hits you like a ton of bricks when you think about those parents and think about what the families and the friends and everything else. So right now, I'm in a very odd situation because I no longer work for Action Duchenne.
No.
I work
Congratulations on everything you achieved, by the way.
Thank you.
Amazing.
It
I saw
was.
you in action, and wow, amazing.
It was incredible. And,
You learned a lot.
Thank you. But where I find myself now, for the first time ever, because I never was able to speak this openly about it without there being a tinge of talking for the charity, it's me. And that's hard because as any Duchenne, I know there's going to be Duchenne parents watching because, I know there will be. To then give yourself that space to think about it and talk about it, it's really hard. And I don't often think about it or talk about it.
You're in a safe space.
I know.
And I'm going to put my hand there, and anytime you want to grab my hand, you can grab it.
Thank you. It's okay because I cry and then I get on.
Yeah.
That's okay. But I haven't done this for such a long time, which is why I'm nervous.
Yeah. If you need to breathe for a moment, we'll breathe.
Yeah. So
how do you feel about Lynette and who Lynette is today? Do you feel proud?
I'll probably never feel proud.
I know you feel-
So you know
know.
that I have utter imposter syndrome. So looking at these people that have been on prior to me, in my mind, they're all just like incredible. So for me to be following someone like Christine, following someone like Sam, two humans who I just adore more than anything, I don't feel like I should be here.
But they adore you.
But I'm also going to stop you there, and the reason why I'll stop you there is ever since I've known Alex for the last 3 years, whenever we've talked and your name's been brought up, Alex does nothing but put you on a pedestal.
I know, but
And because of the person you are. I don't want to upset
Yeah,
you.
no, but
she's fucking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely
She's
awesome. Yeah.
She's awesome. So Lynette said to me when she left Action to Shen, Alex, I need a reference. I need a reference because I need to go and I'm looking at some other things. I've got a few opportunities. She wasn't even looking really. She'd been given opportunities. People are coming at
Yeah,
her
it was a bit like
with
that.
opportunities because she's like, well, it's a bit like you were saying it earlier. They kind of, you kind of close one door and
Yeah.
it just goes, boof, here you go. And I said, no. I won't give you a bloody reference. I'll give you a fucking job, though.
Well, your
incredible.
words were do not accept. What I loved
We
about
have a
it,
conversation.
So is that you
Yeah.
said don't accept anything, any offers until you've spoken to me. And what I loved about that was that you immediately presumed I'd already been made offers because you had that belief in
Yeah,
me.
100%.
Yeah.
And there's a
100%.
difference between saying talk to me, but you actually said before you accept any offers, and
Offers.
that has stuck with me. And of course, for me, it was it's been a rocky up and down road.
Yeah.
God,
Welcome to Star
I've learned
World.
so much. Like it's incredible, and I do feel so. Right now, I feel in a position where I feel so much more confident in what I'm doing at work, which is amazing because it's not really work. It's
know, but you're making
it's
an impact.
playing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it's playing for money, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. It's like entrepreneurial world.
Yeah.
It's just a different world.
Yeah.
Because we're a CIC as well. We're driven by revenue rather than like charity grants and,
Yeah.
and donations.
But
which
what
helps.
also is quite interesting is that I've still, I don't know if anyone else who's listening has the same experience in their working life. It's almost like having a really not toxic, but having a different ex-partner.
Yeah.
Like, I luckily don't have any of those things because, but it's almost like you hold on to the memories of your previous experiences and presume that's going to happen
Yeah. of
in
course.
this place.
You have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
Your frame of reference shapes you
Yeah.
as you grow, and then every now and again you're given an opportunity to break back some of that and then allow the child to come out of you again,
Yeah.
which is what we all
Yeah.
want. That's where we are. That's where we were from, and everything else is circumstance and situational. And then every now and again you find a place like this and I go, I don't give a fuck, Lynette. Get on with it. Do whatever you want. And you go, oh, right.
Oh, right. Okay.
Hey, I've arrived. Hello.
But changing that, as you
Yeah, I
said, the
understand.
schema of always having worked for organisations or people or situations where it's a prescribed way,
Yeah.
to then have that freedom. I'm always second guessing, thinking, well, how can is that really happening? Yeah, okay, brilliant. Yeah, let's do this. And the more and more, I guess it's habits, isn't it? Developing
Yeah.
habits. The inch stones. I always go back to the inch stones rather than the milestones. So the habits of thinking, actually, I trust these people. I trust what we're doing. I trust the system. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But something else will. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've never had that ever in work,
That's
and
lovely.
it's not. Yeah. So
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
So this is
listen to that.
This is
Read that a second, because
Yeah.
I think that's what you need to do right now to allow
great.
us to move on to the next question.
Yeah, because
what's that?
She says, find the way to accept the
But
love
I can't, Sarah.
and
it's
draw
really
strength
hard.
from all those who believe in you.
this is a massive change for you, isn't it? Because
Oh, huge. Yeah.
for me, when I heard you got the job here, it was at marketing. You're social media marketing, aren't you?
Marketing manager.
Sorry, yeah. What I mean by that is that when I heard your stories in the last live ones, last two, you're all this happy person, and can I ask?
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. So were you hiding?
No, I just have a very good way of parking it.
Yeah.
And when I go there, I go there.
She goes.
So with Duchenne, it's a very difficult thing to think about because I've spoken to hundreds of families about this, and people always think to the final. They always think to the end.
Yes.
They always think to the time when you lose your young person, which is a potential inevitability. In my mind, I have a celebration of Samson reaching his 40s. That to me is going to be a celebration. But it's a situation that parents don't usually find themselves in. And when you know about it, it makes you change your perspective on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But it also, when you go there to the end, which I've been there, I went there about 3 months into diagnosis. I went there and I imagined the bed, I imagined the room,
Yeah.
I imagined how he would look. He's quite slight, And I pictured some of the other people in the Duchenne community who are built like him, and I imagined that he would look like them when he was older. But I imagined him around like 20s, and it's incredibly hard because you spend your whole life looking away from that potential moment. Because you have to live your life, you have to get on with what you're doing, you have to earn money for your family. It's very expensive being a person with a disability. You have to keep siblings going and living a good life. You have to keep up friendships and relationships. But there's always, and this never goes away, unfortunately, sorry other Duchenne parents watching, that end never goes from your mind. But again, it does make a really good perspective on everything. But if you let yourself think, your heart just breaks. Samson was in hospital for over Christmas with pneumonia. So with Duchenne, because the heart and lungs are affected by the lack of dystrophin in the muscles, it makes coughing really hard. So his diaphragm is quite it's a lot weaker than other children, so he can't really produce a cough. So he got the cold that was going around anyway, and we were desperately trying to keep him at home because obviously it's Christmas, so Christmas Eve, and I was in bed with him and he was sitting up and he could barely pull a breath, and we phoned 111 and they phoned us back eventually, which was fine. NHS, thank you NHS, incredible, absolutely wonderful. And we went straight in and they oxygened him up and everything, and it's just the feeling of keeping that power going Christmas time. And then bless legs, he came in and he just broke down, seeing our beautiful little boy rigged up to an oxygen thing on Christmas Eve. It's just horrible. And if he didn't have Duchenne, he would not have been in there. So we've gone off on a massive tangent.
But now, one thing I've remember that sticks with me. There's a lot that Lynette, not just Lynette, your family just as a whole, as a beautiful whole that you are.
And they are beautiful, aren't they?
Beautiful, bloody beautiful, amazing.
Is it worse because he's just so gorgeous?
You're all just bloody lovely, and it just drives me nuts because every time I see you, that's why we love to hug every time we see each other. That's why inevitably we're crying before we started the meeting. The interview. Something that really stuck with me right from years ago when we first met was that you live every day, and every moment is just a beautiful thing because you've got this perspective and you have this action. So the conferences where Christine and I would come and when you would have us.
I've just seen Stuart's message. We'll come to that in a minute if that's okay. I just
yes.
Yeah, thank you. Just want to acknowledge that, Stuart. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, bless you, man. I've never... What you give to the world by being who you are is... And you as a community, your family, the Duchenne families, who I've got to meet, some of which... I've never felt happy, seen so much happiness. Just pure... I've never felt happy. Like I have felt, obviously, but I've just felt just amazing. And I just, it's a wonderful perspective to have. It's a horrible thing you have to go through. And it's a horrible thing to talk about. And it's really brave that you would do so. And you know that we all love you and Samson and and your whole family. And I want you just to say thank you for being so vulnerable and open to come and share. Because that, first and foremost, to your point about Stuart. Notice how she went, Stuart, there's someone over there. She just picked it out, because that's what you do. You find it. You find the people that need love and you give love. And I think that's a wonderful trait to have in a human being. To forget any skill that you have, the human capacity to do that is incredible. But I want to ask, because I know you want to share, and I know you want to talk about what happened over Christmas, because I think we can learn from that.
Yeah.
And I think that like we got the text, so I did turn my phone on when that happened because Christine said.
I know you did. I know, I saw that you did.
Because I wanted to make sure you were okay. But you, within a day, you made the most of it. Can you just explain what happened over Christmas and how you dealt with it as a family and as an individual? If you're happy to share.
Yeah, of course. So that.
I know you want to talk about that, and otherwise I know I'm trying to help you.
Thank you. So these bits, the practical sides, I find really easy to talk about, and the practicalities were that luckily Lex was at home at the time because Lex looks after a man with autism as his caring job. That's his paid job. So he works he's away a lot of the time, but then he's back a lot of the time. So it works really well. And that's the kiddie's dad. So he was at home luckily. So actually it worked out kind of logistically much better than it has done in the past. You know, when Samson was admitted a few years ago, I took them all. Did I take them all to hospital? I think I took them all to hospital. Yeah, and it was like this kind of LSM party. And I think then Lex came when he was able to. I can't remember. I think it was like that. It was very traumatic. So yeah, we just went there. The hospital were amazing. They set up, they gave us a ward, 4 beds to ourselves, and Samson was obviously really struggling. His stats were really low. He was 88% oxygen blood, which is really low. He was very tacky, so 130, 150 kind of beats per minute heart rate, really high temperature, kind of 40 plus. So he was really struggling. Yeah, no, we actually had a really nice time randomly. So Lex was very upset. Samson was upset that he missed out on Christmas. Leo, it's really interesting because Leo's 13 and he is a very caring person, typical older sib. But it's hard to get him away from his computer because he loves gaming. But what really upset me or kind of got me was on Christmas Eve when Lex came to visit us in hospital. Leo and Rosie just all turned up, and of course he did. Why did I ever doubt that he wouldn't? But he was like, of course I'm here. Like, oh my God. And the same for Christmas Day, same for Boxing Day. And yeah, we just had a roast dinner. It was actually really simple and really lovely. It was the emotional side when you look at what and why and how close was. I thought I was making the right decision keeping him at home.
You did the right thing.
But then I said to the doctors, like, should I have brought him in earlier? Because I was trying to keep him at home. And all of them said, no, it's fine. And I knew, just from their reaction, of course I should have brought him in earlier. It's a really hard decision to make. And I know I did the right thing, but out of that, again, I got it from them. I could turn my phone off on Boxing Day. That makes sense. Yeah, because you knew that we were home.
Because the power again is just another example of the power of you using whatever the moment is to make it a moment. That's fine. We had a lovely time. We were in the hospital. And we were with lots of people. We had our own little space, and you find the positive in those things. I think that's a wonderful thing for people to take from that story is the fact that you got to find the positives in everything.
And I think another thing also is when a lot of Duchenne parents I've spoken to, they have people in their lives that step away because they perhaps can't deal with it or don't know what to do or don't know what to say or whatever. One of our very best friends, Kirsty, actually just messaged me on Christmas Eve saying, like, what do you need? And I said, I can't shower here. I've got no clothes. Like, I'm minging. I don't want to be minging on Christmas Day. So she actually came down on Christmas morning with washing stuff, towels.
Love it.
Like, she was catering for like 20 people in her house. She didn't give a shit. She just literally got out of her house and came to visit us in hospital. And I just couldn't cope.
Yeah, but you would have done exactly the same thing for her.
Oh my God, of course I would. But that's the key, I think. If someone's struggling or someone's having problems and you don't know what to say anything. Just be there, just talk to them. Yeah. And I think that's a big take. I guess we're probably running out of time, aren't we?
You've got 5 minutes.
Okay. I think the message is from me, if someone is struggling in whatever respect, whether they're living with a disability, whether they're living with mental health challenges, practically, whether they're a new parent, just be there. Just reach out to them, talk to them. Don't say to them, what can I do to help? Just do the help. Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't ask permission. Just do it. If they don't like it, they'll soon tell you, I'm sure.
Kev Hull's on midday, and he once told me a story about something I've been trying to adopt without. I don't really want to.
No, I know. I'm looking at
comments.
these.
Yeah, I know.
I love. Oh, Fergie, thanks.
Yeah, I can see
massive
these lovely,
fan.
lovely comments, which you should 100% be enjoying afterwards and engaging with. But he said about, and it's something I try to adopt, and I hope you see it, and people that work with us and get involved in the stuff we do see it. He said, like, when something happened to one of his employees, he just said as a story, he just got a box out and wrote his name on the box, and then gave him the box and said, look, any problems anything you don't want to deal with, I'm not asking to help, but here's a box, and any problems you can't deal with, put them in a box, and just assume they're going to be dealt with. I think there's a lot to be said about
That's
that,
very cool.
and you're always going to get that back. You're always going to get that back. Like, you just community. It's village. It's that village thing. It's the community. We all need each other. We've got to support each other. And putting out, as you do, relentlessly, it just always means that you've got someone to call.
But then you're the same. That's part of the reason why we love St Neots so much. I'd probably say most of the reason is because of the community that you have set up for yourself, because you have made a safe space for so many people. There's going to be hundreds of people that watch these things back that are part of your network that you talk to, and you give your time every single day to them. And you've made that safe space for people. And I can't imagine that there's any other towns or any other communities that are like that.
Well,
so, and I'm so proud to be part of it. So thank you for letting me be part of it.
I will
See,
love
look, I'm
you.
fine now. Look, I can go back to work. I go back through.
Good shit.
Straight
I'm
in.
Honestly, we did all right, to be
But
fair.
we did.
We actually got a lot of words in
I
for
know.
once.
Oh,
I'm proud of you, Lynette.
But that's not being flippant. That's
No.
not. That's me
No,
just
no.
going there.
No.
And
That is self-awareness and self-control. You understand when you got to go, and if you resist it, that hurts.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to go. So I think someone said it's okay to cry. I saw a comment come up earlier. I couldn't look at this because the only reason I'm trying to resist crying, by the way, is because I'm trying to make sure I provide the platform for someone to speak.
I'll do it
Yeah,
for
no.
him.
So Luke's already gone. I've seen Luke gone. So I'm doing, but there's just so much love here.
But
for
the reality is, like, it's not today.
you. No.
That's a potential future, and we have such a lovely time, and we're just normal family. Like, they spend all their time on the computer and watching telly, and we have the daily struggles, but then just normal families. But we also have the most brilliant time. So it's nothing to be sad about
No, nothing to be sad about.
at all. Our life is not sad. Our life
It's
is
joyful.
brilliant.
It's
But
beautiful.
times like this, I then am able to be sad because it's vulnerable, isn't it? It's just being open and honest.
I
And,
worked for a cerebral palsy charity in Bedford for a year and saw families. And no, I can't say any more right now.
No.
don't worry, honestly, you guys have been doing this for you're nearly halfway through.
11 and a half hours.
So,
Can we have a
Mrs.
hug?
Dees is
Oh.
up next, isn't
Yes,
she?
yes. Can we have a hug before we go?
She's
Yeah,
bought you
please.
donuts.
And you got to sign the shirt, although we've got no pen. What's
Oh,
going
I'll
on
do it in a
pen?
minute,
We lost.
it's fine.
Have we lost?
No, I've actually got another one somewhere.
Go on, anyway, thank you. Thank you for giving me that chance. That was lovely. But I feel like I've refreshed now for a year.
better for crying
Yeah. Yeah, back to work now. Back to taking videos of everybody. Bye bye, Lou. I'll see you soon. Can I get you guys a nice cup of tea? And a coffee for
Can
you?
we continue to share some love?
Oh, chocolate brooch is done.
Oh, look at that. Chocolate, croissants, all
Thanks
sorts.
for having me, everybody.
Bless you.
And